why. What's going on, guys? If you want to support our content and pick up this month's amazing Patreon rewards, you can do so at patreon.com/itresolves. If you're interested in custom playmats and sleeves, visit yourplaymat.com and use code ITRESOLVES10YP for 10% off your entire purchase. What's going on, guys, and welcome to yet another gameplay video. Today we are going to be testing out a very interesting list. So if you guys don't know, I do a lot of searching for the lists that we play. Some of the time, you know, I find it really quickly. I'm like, oh, that really catches my eye. Sometimes it takes a little bit more digging, but this is one that immediately caught my eye. And it's very interesting because it's kind of a, like, changeling tribal deck. It's weird. So basically the idea, there's some combos involved with this. The idea is you get Maskwood Nexus down, hopefully already as well having a Bishop of Wings down. So this says whenever an angel enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 4 life. Whenever an angel you control dies, you get a 1/1 spirit, which is really, really nice. But this makes all of your creatures every creature type. So they're all angels, they're all wolves, they're all elves, they're all whatever you want them to be at any given time. And the idea is that you get Tulsamir, friend to wolves down, which says basically it comes in with an extra 3/3 wolf, but then anytime a wolf enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 3 life and it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. So the idea is you can kind of chain react all 3 of these to make gain a lot of life, make a lot of wolves, make a lot of angels, kind of do whatever. It's a little bit strange. I haven't 100% figured it out yet, I'll be honest, but it's a very cool little combo. And as such, we've got a lot of like creature build up stuff. So we've got Beast Whisperer to draw us some cards, Night Pack Ambusher to kind of continuously give us these wolves, slash angels, slash elves, slash whatever. Radiant Destiny to kind of boost everything up and give it all vigilance if we have the City's Blessing. Unbreakable Formation as a indestructible spell, so what we can do is give everything indestructible until the end of the turn. And then either Cleansing Nova or Doomscar if we need to, just to kind of sweep and then get the easy win. We've got Heroic Intervention to give Indestructible and Hexproof. We've got Authority to slow the opponents down, but also gain us some life. And then Cultivate to kind of pull out some lands as we go through. We also, as an alternative win con, just have Aetherflux Reservoir, which technically can really, really go off in this list. So it's a weird one. That's all I've got to say, but it's a really cool looking list, and I really wanted to try this one out because I think it could be just a really sick little combo deck. So we're gonna throw this through 3 games. We're gonna see how it goes. Like I said, I have no idea what to expect here, guys. So we're learning together a little bit. Oh, one other thing I did want to point out: we also have Castle Ardenvale here, which does spit out tokens, which does trigger obviously all these things. So that's obviously kind of an interesting little tech piece. But anyway, let's go ahead. Let's send this through a few games. Let's see how it does. I'm curious. I'm very curious. And here we are, guys, for game number 1. Now, this is a very interesting hand. We do have the Authority on turn 2, thanks to having Fabled Passage and Sunpetal Grove, but I'm going to actually give this one a shot. I'm kind of curious to see how this goes. This is very much a reactive hand and kind of a slow build, but we do have the Cleansing Nova, so if our opponent happens to be on a creature list or even an enchantment or artifact list, which is kind of the nice part about Cleansing Nova, we can kind of wreck them. Personally, I don't really want to have to blow up artifacts or enchantments thanks to the Authority plus the Radiant Destiny, but we'll see. We've got a long way to go with this hand, so we're gonna do the best we can with it. And hopefully we will figure this deck out. Like I said, I haven't 100% yet. Okay, that's very helpful. That just guarantees we can get this down early. Looks like green is the color here, so I'm a little curious to see green-red. Curious to see what this ends up being. They don't have a play. Well, we're gonna go ahead and play the Paradise Druid then. No reason not to. This does have hexproof, so they can't just burn it unless they sweep, which is great. So we'll see. I'm very curious here. They're just now playing a Llanowar Elf. That's interesting. They must have had either a not great hand or something must have not really worked out for them. Let's do this. And we will get second green, so we've got 2 of every color essentially. Now we can go ahead and play the Radiant Destiny here. I don't think we do. I think we guarantee the turn 4 Night Pack Ambusher by not doing that. And I'd much rather, of course, have this down, especially in a situation. Something to think about here is kind of the current game state, which is that we only have 3 lands. We don't have another one in hand. We should be playing to the out of we may not have that 4th land. And so in that instance, what's going to be the most effective play? Absolutely Night Pack Ambusher, because no matter what, even if that just is the only thing we do, it gains us quite a bit of momentum. So we're gonna play to that out. I'm just gonna pass. We didn't play a land, so there is a possibility, you know, that they're thinking, oh, they don't have much. The other option, obviously, is Coco that they're probably thinking of, which makes a lot of sense. But Night Pack Ambusher coming down should be able to block this Llanowar Elf pretty well, and depending on how they... Okay, so they are going to attack with it. We're going to throw it out there and see what they decide to do. Now, we do have the option of blocking the Spellbreaker. I'm not going to. I'm going to take the Llanowar Elf kill. They may also have a Lightning Strike here and take out the Ambusher, but that's, I mean, it is what it is. We've got follow-up plays, so I'm not terribly worried about that. I just hope that honestly, the Paradise Druid is the one that I don't want to lose. Ah, interesting. Okay. So they are going to trade things off here. Well, I'm glad we blocked where we blocked then, to be honest, because that could have been a lot worse. This isn't great, but I do think we just play out the Beast Whisper. We're just not drawing lands, so unfortunately we're just in a bad spot here, but my hope is that we could Cleansing Nova and just sweep for artifacts and enchantments. Now, we do lose our authority here if we need to, but I think at that point it's kind of okay. All right, sure. That's not great for us. Hopefully they don't have a Lightning Strike and deal with the Beast Whisperer too, but it looks like they do. Yeah. Not a Lightning Strike, but still very, very good. And now we're behind on mana, so I think we're probably out of this game, but hey, we still try, right? We still try. And it might be worth it just to sweep for creatures as well at some point. We'll see. All right. Go for the white here. And we'll go for Wolf. Obviously, we do want to go for Wolf because we do have the this coming down potentially at some point that can kind of do some major damage here, but they just win this turn, if I'm not mistaken. They'd get 12, 13 in exactly. So unfortunately, that's a game lost for us, but you know what? That's okay. Let's go ahead. We'll jump into game 2. All right, guys, here we are for game number 2. Let's see if we can do a little better this time. I do think this is a keep. It's a little bit slow. Obviously don't have a play until turn 3, so I'm really just hoping that we can maybe draw something here. I'm going to lead on the Fabled Passage just because we really have plenty of land in our hand, and at this point we just kind of want to deck thin as much as possible. We are going to go ahead and get a second white here. We will go here and pass. Next turn, very clear, we just cultivate. They may not have much to do. It looks like they are potentially American Control, which is a scary deck for sure for us. But we'll see what we can do. Let's do this, and then we'll cultivate here. I'm just gonna get 2 forests. We've got plenty of the colors that we need. I'm not really worried about that, if that makes sense. And so at this point, I think the play is just kind of build things up here. Okay, so we've got some options. I think option 1 is going to be the Maskwood Nexus. We'll see, but this is a unique card. They had tapped out that turn. I'd like to get this down as soon as we can, and hopefully, you know, kind of make them play around some stuff. Interesting. Okay, so they did draw a land. That's good for them. We'll go ahead and play this. And I think we'll get Tolsimir down as we can. We're gonna gain a little bit of life, get some stuff down. We'll see how this pans out. They could very easily sweep this turn, but we're kind of asking them to be honest, by throwing out a 2-for-1 right off the bat. But Maskwood Nexus very crucially can just start spitting out creatures at some point. So part of the reason why I don't feel too bad about just kind of going for this is we've already got something built in. So let's go ahead and attack. Do we throw this down? I think not. I don't think we need to. We'll end the turn and potentially Nightpack Ambusher or just throw this out, but we'll see. I don't want them to sweep this turn and then we lose everything, so that's why I'm not really committing, and we don't have to, right? Like, this definitely buffs up all of our stuff, but 2 extra points of damage versus losing our entire board seems like a pretty easy way in to me. I'd much rather not lose everything. Perfect. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. Now we get to throw out the Nightpack Ambusher and spit out one of these guys, and we're in much better shape this turn. Granted, they could still sweep at some point, but like, I'm not terribly worried about it. And there we go. We got the win. Wow. Okay. That was a very quick loss on the opponent's end, but you know what? Very cool. We got a win. Let's go ahead and jump into game 3. And here we are for game 3, guys. And this is a pretty solid hand. We've got a nice 2-3-4. We're going to keep it. We're going to see how this one goes. I very much enjoy this hand. Let's see if we can get the big bad wolf to do its thing. I'm optimistic. Last game was kind of sweet. All right, cool. So we get Temple Garden down first. We've got Paradise Druid coming down. And honestly, it might just be Aether Flux Reservoir might be the turn 3 play, but we'll see. Very easily, this Paradise Druid could die to something. I don't know what, but it does have hexproof. They can't just like target it, but maybe they've got some random burn spell. I've got no idea. Interesting. Okay. I mean, I'm going to play the Reservoir. If they want to burn this, that's kind of fine. I don't really care because we've got Cultivates in hand. So the idea here is that if they are a burn deck, which very clearly they are, Aetherflux Reservoir kind of gets us out of that bind pretty quickly. So granted, they could easily have like a counter spell here or something like that, but it's cool. We got this. Let's go ahead. We'll just get a green source and I'm going to cultivate. We're going to take our time a little bit and just build up. We want to play all the cards in our hand if we can prior to playing the Nightpack Ambusher, because once we play this, we kind of don't want to have to play anything anymore. But gaining all this life back is obviously pretty important. They can Field of Ruin the Castle Ardenvale, which is probably the right call. Sure. Kind of sucks, but it's actually not the end of the world. I mean, it shuts off an option for us, no doubt. But it truthfully isn't the end of the world. We've got plenty of other options for us. Should I go play this? Let's do this. Again, we're just going to cultivate and see what we can do. We're just deck thinning at this point, truthfully. I mean, we could have also Fabled Passage to help with that, but I think we'll be okay. We're taking out a lot of lands here. The opponent's not doing anything major. Obviously, the worry is that they could very easily have some major combo or something like that, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. It looks like they're very much just a kind of straightforward deck here. So I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to potentially flash this out, but we're going to wait. We would gain an extra life if we played the Nightpack Ambusher this turn, but I don't think we need to. Sure, we're going to take 1. Doesn't seem all that bad, I'll be honest. So, are they going to burn the Beast Whisperer? Doesn't look like it. We're going to play the Ambusher. And at the very least, this gains us a life and draws us a card. So not only are we negating the damage that they did, but we're also going to get to replace it in our hand regardless of what they do. I mean, they could counter it right now and it doesn't matter. Like, we still get the trigger. Unfortunate draw here. Funny that in the first game we were lacking lands and now we've got just tons of them, despite having deck thinned like a lot. That's fine. Again, not the end of the world. Don't particularly care. Let's do this. We're going to throw out Tolsimir for a very good reason. We're going to try and get rid of this Drake here. We're going to let that resolve first. Despite this maybe drawing us an extra card, what we need to do is have Tolsimir on the field before we play the Ambusher. We do have to fight this, which kind of sucks. And then we'll play Nightpack Ambusher. Fully expecting that they may have some kind of sweeper or something like that. But this kind of gets us in a they must answer position, if that makes sense. They do have double whites, so they could very easily have almost any sweeper they'd like. But we're at 30 life at this point. So they have a long way to go. Cleansing Nova is a bit scary. Wow, seriously? How many lands do we need? Unfortunately, lots of lands coming out right now. We're going to deck thin as much as we can. Kind of regretting not Fabled Passaging earlier. All right, so is there an infinite combo that we need to worry about? Probably at some point there might be. Seriously? All right, well, I mean, eventually we just gain 50 life, right? We cannot have that many more lands in our deck. I should have looked, but like, we have played so many lands at this point. Yeah. The problem is Teferi, I mean, this can bounce the Aetherflux Reservoir, so like, that's an actual problem for us. I mean, we'll see. Oh, this is not going well. Please don't draw a land. Please don't draw a land. Give me anything. All right, that's not very good either. But whatever. Yep. I mean, it's the best thing we got, so let's just do it. They're gonna counter it, that's fine. Truth be told, that doesn't really matter that much. Man, unfortunate draws. I mean, how many lands did we draw there? Like, a good many in a row. Kind of sucks, but can't help it. Eventually, Teferi takes over this game, so truth be told, I don't think we can dig our way out of this. Beast Whisper was our way of like drawing a lot. And even if we have one now, most likely they've refilled their hand full of counters. So why do we draw so many lands? Truth be told, I just don't think that we're going to be able to make this one happen, but that's okay. Unfortunate. Man, exact opposite too of the previous or the first game. We really burnt out here. There's Niv. Yep. What a cool card, Niv Mizzet. I mean, we're just dead, right? We're drawing one more card. We're gonna see what we draw. If it's a land, we immediately give up. If it's anything but a land, we're gonna play it and then probably give up. All right. Yep. They've got so many cards in their hand. Like, there's no way they don't have a counter. All right, watch this counter. It's okay though, we've gained a life. We're at 32. All right, I'm gonna concede. There's no way we can win. All right, let's talk about this deck for just a moment. Okay, so first of all, for anybody saying we prematurely conceded on that last game, we had no cards in hand. They had a full grip, 2 Planeswalkers, and a Niv Mizzet on the field, so I'm very sorry, but no, we did not. Anyway, this deck is very cool, but I mean, it just didn't function in the draws. Like, we had the most unlucky draws potentially I have seen. Now, game 2 went very, very well. We kind of did exactly what the deck was supposed to do, and so I was happy with that game. But the first game, we didn't draw but 3 lands, basically. And then that last game, I don't know how many we drew. I'm looking at it right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 lands. That's a little insane. Granted, some of those were cultivated lands, but like, holy crap. Regardless, do I like this deck? Actually, yes, I do. I think this deck is kind of cool. Once it really gets working, I think it can do a lot, and I think it's very good against a lot of the aggro builds. Unfortunately, against control, I think it's much less suited for that matchup because it does just kind of burn out. Like, Beast Whisper is really the card that allows you to draw, but if they just sweep it, like, doesn't really matter. So I enjoyed it. I wouldn't recommend it as like a meta grinder kind of thing, but it is kind of a cool little build for green-white that is much more lately just kind of life gain focused. And obviously we are life gain focused, but it has a little bit more to it. So I actually really liked it. It was a very creative build, if nothing else. So if you want to try it, feel free. The deck list is down below. And do not forget, guys, we do have the challenge weeks going on. If you'd like to submit to that, we do need some more people submitting. We've got plenty of submissions, but they're all generally from the same people. And not that we don't love those people. You guys are amazing, as you all know. But we would like to branch out a little bit and see what everybody else can come up with. So please do check out the Discord. We've got that challenge submissions channel there for you. But regardless, guys, have a fantastic Thursday. I can't wait to see you guys again soon for some more gameplay videos.